Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right. So guys, in today's episode, I'm quite happy. You see me smiling, right? I'm quite happy to report that profiling is gonna be taking a very different turn with the tips our speakers today are gonna be giving the audience.
Right. For the longest time, Black Americans have told stories of how they've been profiled whenever they entered spaces where they cohabited with white people, right? And more often than not, people have often wanted instant karma to follow these cases of profiling.
Right.
But in today's episode, people have found a rather unique way to make racial profiling work in their favor.
Right, and I have to say that I think for the most part of it, profiling used to, I feel like they used to use this as a form of tool to make the Black American community feel uncomfortable, feel humiliated, and feel bad just to spoil somebody's day, you know. But guys, we don't want to talk a lot. Let's just watch what we prepared for you first, and then we come back with our commentaries. You'll be very proud of today's speakers here.
Let's watch and then we come back and talk about it.
One of my favorite things in the world is being racially profiled in stories. Like, I get tickle pink. I see stars of joy when it happens. Because when it happens, I turn whoever is doing the profiling into my literal bitch. I ask for things off the highest shelves. If I see something is in a small and a medium, hey, can you go check in the back to see if there's a large? Because I just called and they said that they had it in a large. This is actually what I came to the store for. I gather as many things as I can and I ask them to hold the items. And when they say no, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, oh, I can't hold this for you or whatever. Or I have other customers. I'm like, well, I think that, I was already here and I needed your help or whatever. And if you can't hold it, go and take it to the counter. I don't really leave room for discussion because I'm a very assertive person as is. So it's immediately like, go take that to the counter. I order them around. I make sure at the front of the store where all the new stuff is, I make it a point to be like, ooh, I love this piece. Do you have this piece? And when they say no, I'm like, you can't afford it. Of course you don't have it. Like, look at, you work here. Of course you don't have it. I ask them personal questions like how much money they make. And if they tell me, I scoff in disgust and be like, oh God, I could never live off of that. And if they don't tell me, I look it up and then I still scoff in disgust and be like, oh God, that is disgusting. That is pathetic. I just make them feel so uncomfortable and as worthless as I possibly can. And then once I've gotten my jollies off, I go to the counter and let first I ask if the person that was helping me can ring me out. And when they say no, which is 9 times out of 10, they're going to say no because I've made the person so uncomfortable. I let them ring everything up and then I buy nothing. It is absolutely entertaining. Y'all should try it.
I went to Harvard Law School. I've got a lot of degrees and awards. I've won cases at the U.S. Supreme Court, and I've been in courtrooms representing clients, getting there early, sitting at defense counsel's table, where the judge will walk in and immediately get mad at me. The judge will look at me and say, hey, you get back out there in the hallway. I don't want any defendants sitting in my courtroom without their lawyer. And I have to stand up and say, well, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I am the lawyer. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Brian Stevenson. I have to try to de-escalate this situation. And I was doing that recently. I was in a courtroom in the Midwest, and the judge started laughing, but it wasn't an apologetic laugh. And it kind of angered me. And the prosecutor started laughing. They thought it was so funny. And I was sitting there getting angry. And then I thought, oh no, Brian, you can't get angry. You need to smile. You may need to laugh. And I felt that way. I thought that way because my client was not going to be able to leave that county. I was able to leave that county and never come back based on the way I was treated if I chose to do that. But my client was going to have to stay there. So when they were laughing, I smiled. And then I eventually chuckled. Client came in, we did the hearing. But I remember sitting in my car after that hearing thinking, wow, here I am, this middle-aged Black man. I'm in my best suit. I actually argued the case at the Supreme Court that we were trying to implement. I've got all of these degrees and awards, and I'm still required to laugh at my own humiliation to do justice for my client. That's not right. That's not fair. And I'm getting old enough to know that when you have to constantly navigate presumptions of dangerousness and guilt because of your color, when you have to tell your children how to survive a police encounter, what to do and what not to do, how they can't do the things that their white friends can do because they're going to be burdened with this presumption, when you have to constantly navigate this world, it's exhausting. And I want something better. I want something better for everybody. And that's why the commitment to truth-telling, the commitment to building institutions that help us understand the harms of history is such a priority.
Did y'all see the creator that says she loves to get racially profiled because when she gets racially profiled, she basically makes that employee's life a living hell? One thing she likes to do is just put them to work. Grab me this off the top shelf, grab me this from over there, go over there and grab that for me. She says she really just puts them to work. Another thing she likes to do is shame how much money they make. So she'll ask them, how much money do you make? And if they say how much money they make, she says, that could never be me. And she said if they don't want to tell her, she'll look it up and then say the same thing. Like, I can't believe you make XYZ. I could never live off that amount of money. She said, so she continues to do this, all different type of things. She goes to the sale rack, says, oh, how much this cost? Oh, you could never afford that on that salary. I couldn't live on that salary. Then at the end, she likes to wrap it up with bringing a ton of stuff up to the front of the store. Like she's about to buy it. Usually the person that's super uncomfortable at this point in time, so somebody else will ring it up, or if they do ring it up, she'll make them ring up all this stuff and then leave without buying anything. That's how you do it, Ray.
So why do you guys get racially profiled in your own land? The same reason why in South Africa, there's towns that are fully white and apartheid is still happening. The same reason why apartheid was just recently abolished in the 90s. The same reason why in certain African countries, African children are mining for minerals and gold and diamonds. The same reason why in certain African countries, the Chinese are over there hiring Africans at terrible wages to build their communities over there on African land, to build infrastructures over there. They literally physically beat some of their workers. I've seen this with my own two eyes. The same reason why the Chinese are over there creating businesses and restaurants and telling Black Africans that they can't go in there, they can't patronize those places. The same reason why there's a white missionary right now on certain African soil baptizing the Africans in the villages and telling them that their Lord and Savior is a white Jesus Christ. You see how crazy that sounds? That is happening right now in countries all on the continent of Africa. The same way that y'all are able to be colonized and y'all's government officials that look just like y'all, by the way, is signing y'all over, signing the rights to y'all's land over, signing bad deals, and ultimately is going to be indebted to those colonizers. It's happening right now. So tell me, why is that happening on the continent of Africa in 2025? Why is it happening in the Caribbean? The Chinese is up in Jamaica buying up all of the land, opening up resorts. How is that able to happen right now? How is it that you all can't go into restaurants that's owned by the Chinese in certain African countries right now?
If there was ever anything about traveling, and I think I already put it in my little get ready with me ... but I don't know if I'm gonna post it, but this one I know I'm gonna post, is the fact ukuthi mangifika ku security check-in, I am usually racially profiled. And I always get nervous about it because akunamuntu emhlabeni who wants to be singled out for the color of their skin, and the assumption that the color of my skin immediately makes me a criminal. And the last time I was here, which was a year ago, and the reason why I actually opted out of traveling for work was because they made me take off my wig. The last time they basically called the security and they escorted me to the rooms to get checked, like a whole, border security type of situation. And everybody was looking. It was embarrassing. And I've been flagged. My heart's racing because it's like, this will be my 13th reason why today, where I just decided to go home. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if they do the whole thing again where I am asked to take off my wig, asked to get searched or undressed or whatever the case may be, I'm literally turning around. I'm gonna turn around and I'm not gonna go. Because why are you flagging me to the security in the front. This time around, I'm not gonna cry. The first time we did that, but this time around, we're not gonna do that because bad bitches don't cry, baddies don't cry. I just hate it, and it makes me very anxious. So yeah, let's go. So, as expected, of course, I had my luggage swabbed. They pushed my luggage to the side. Ma'am was like, let me open it, and she was swabbing it for drugs. And of course, as I stood there, every other person was passing by, and their things were not checked for drugs. The positive, at least my wig didn't come off. But I'm pissed.
One of my favorite things in the world is being racially profiled in stories. Like, I get tickle pink.
Yeah, so I'm watching football, so I couldn't get up. But everybody watched this lady post. This was the funniest thing. I thought I was the only one that really liked to give people a hard time.
One of my favorite things in the world is being racially profiled in stories. Like, I get tickle pink.
Wait, because why is this so funny? Because I do the same exact thing. So, real quick, I used to work for Victoria's Secret when I was a teenager. So, one day, I walk in there. I'm at the mall. I walk in there. I'm doing some shopping. Like, I want to spend some money. And at the time that I went in there, I was working for Apple. Keep that in mind. But how I was dressed, I was just in like some chill shit. Like, I had sweatpants on and like a sweatshirt. Walk in, the lady approached me, whatever. Okay, hey, how you doing? Whatever, do you need any help? Told her no. I'm walking around trying to look for the shit that I want to pick up. She kept following me. And she asked me, I kid you not, probably about like 4 or 5 times, you need any help? You need any help? I'm good. I'm good. And it was just so annoying. Like, she kept following me, and I could tell that she was like keeping an eye on me the whole entire time. And again, I used to work for Victoria's Secret when I was a teenager, so I know, like, yeah, you ask women that come in there, like, do you want to get sized up for your bras or whatever? That was not the case at all. So she gave me one of those bags or whatever. So I just started picking up random shit, putting it in a bag. She's still following me around. So after I was done, I just sat the bag down in the front display when you walk in. I just sat the bag down and walked out. I do it every single time.
You're not videoing things.
What's that? Ask the question. What do I do? I'm a security officer. I work security. That's what I do.
Can you switch it off?
Huh?
There are signs telling you.
Signs telling me what?
No phones or videos.
No phones or video. Why not?
Okay, we'll have to call
the
Heathrow.
Call the police and recording you asking me questions?
Yeah.
What's the crime?
It's a Heathrow bylaw, no phones or videos, yeah?
Okay, so
it's not by us, it's the Heathrow bylaw.
Ask the questions. Ask the questions.
Yeah,
I'm a security officer in New York City.
Yeah, you're not in New York City, yeah? Can you switch it up?
For what reason, though?
I've told you.
I gotta protect myself, though.
From what?
What's happening? How are you feeling?
I'm being profiled. Nobody else was asked any questions. Everybody. I just hopped off the plane with an individual with the same bag. Right. Why me specifically, though? Does any other reason?
I'll call it.
Yeah, call us. Call us. Search the bag. Find the drugs and the weapons and the cocaine. Find it. I hopped off the plane. As soon as I hop off the plane, she pulled me to the side and asked me all these questions. She didn't ask any other individuals any other questions. She asked me what I do for her. I showed her my passport, my boarding pass. You see my driver's license. Any other question? Anybody else they pulled? But I understand you dark skin, got the tattoos and all that shit. So this is shit we got to deal with. Search the bag. What's the crime? Search me. Search the bag. You're asking me all these questions about every single thing that I'm doing here.
That's our job.
I get it. That's what Farrakhan warned us about all this stuff. He told us about all this stuff. So This ain't my first rodeo. So she's gonna come bring an officer. He won't turn his phone off.
Yeah.
You can search the bag. You can search me, but I'll be under arrest because I can't turn because I won't turn my phone off.
If you listen.
No. When you plant whatever you plant and when you do whatever you do, yeah. At least I got a little bit of evidence. What do you do? What do I do for a living? I made the flight, right? What do I do for a living? Oh boy. Are you Muslim? You Muslim? What's your faith? Any Muslims in here? None, right? Yeah. So I figured. Got some so-called Christians. So-called. Fake Christians. Fuck out of here. You fucking devil. I searched my bag. You find a black man with tattoos. You gotta ask all these questions. Search my bag.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. I feel like just the other day we were talking about Asians giving white people the bombastic side eye for them going into HMAT and Asian spaces, right? And white people came out saying that that was discriminatory, and they were talking about how that was encouraging division within the two cultures and communities. But guys, I just want to ask the question, where exactly did profiling come from? Is it that they treat only the black community and people of color that way, or do they also do that for their white counterpart? Which I know the answer to that. They don't do that with white people.
Not as often as they do the black community and the Asian community and other people of color.
Right. So it's just as simple as saying these people like giving black Americans and people of color that you don't belong here treatment, And what does it mean when you go into a store and somebody follows you to make you uncomfortable? Is it that they really don't need your money but they can't tell you because Jim Crow ended a long time ago? They can't tell you don't belong here.
Of their stores.
Exactly. So they do this stalking habit like a cat following its prey, quietly.
In order to make black Americans uncomfortable enough for them to stop going into those stores. But I really do love what the first sister has, the habit that she has adopted to try and deal with these cases. She just simply turns them into her errand people.
And because they were following her, she might as well make them useful for it, And at the end of the day, it's like you're transferring that feeling that they meant to leave you with,
You're transferring it to them, and instead they're the ones who end up having a day that has been ruined.
And guys, let me also just give an example that went viral because it involved a famous person. Do you guys remember Oprah Winfrey's case where she was profiled because she went into a store to ask for the price of whatever
a very expensive
item
bag
she wanted to buy, and that person apparently didn't know. She happened to be white, but she didn't know who Oprah was, and she was like, you can't afford it. She automatically assumed Oprah could not afford it, So I'm asking myself, if Oprah is going through this, and she's got power, and she can make things happen, but what happens to the common person in America who does not have the kind of money and power and influence Oprah Winfrey has? This is a good way, I would say, to get even with them, just
to put them in their places, because when this woman was saying what she did to that white shop attendant, for a minute I started feeling bad for the shop attendant, especially when she asked, how much do you make in a month or per day? And then I remembered, why should I feel sorry for her if she had the same intention to ruin this black woman's day?
Right.
This is where you say it's a reverse or it's an aura for an aura type of situation, because had she just left this woman alone, she wouldn't have gotten her day ruined.
Right. And I feel like you have to treat all your clients the same. If you're going to be following the black Americans, also follow the white
every client.
For people not to be feeling like they're being singled out
or targeted.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, guys, was the fact that cultures are very, very different. And why am I saying this? Because when I compare and contrast the shopping experience of black Americans, which you understand because their, your shopping experience is also partly contributed to the, how white Americans also treat everybody in America. But I'm saying cultures are different because in Kenya, when people follow shoppers, actually, you are worried when people don't follow you when you're shopping,
Not always, but sometimes when shop attendants follow shoppers, it's because they really, truly, genuinely want to help you shop so that you can leave them a tip when you're going.
Exactly. And in Kenya, the ones who are being followed, trust and believe me, these are people who are thought to have money. Or you
So if you're not followed, you don't have money.
So so if you have money and you're modestly dressed and you walk into a shop sometimes and you're hoping somebody to approach you and ask you what you want to buy, but they don't do that and they go to someone else who's
looks
better dressed, and then they end up coming asking for prices of items and then leaving. But you're left with this person.
Yeah, you who is dressed modestly,
right?
You end up buying, and this one, the one who was dressed like she was gonna buy the whole world ends up leaving without
buying anything.
Yeah, the shop attendants usually remain looking like fools, but anyway, the point is here in Kenya, it's a different culture. When you walk into a clothing store, when you walk into a shoe store, or when you walk just any shop and an attendant comes to you, they really genuinely want to help you shop so that you can leave them a tip.
Right, and I felt like I wanted to mention that because right now we are having a lot of Black Americans migrating to Kenya, and I do believe that once you've
coming
gone through
from the culture of America, where if a shop attendant follows you, it's because they are maybe suspecting you're gonna steal or they're profiling you. Here in Kenya, the culture is very different.
Right.
When they follow you and ask what you want, it's because they wanna help you shop.
Right, and I just thought to mention that. And guys, come to Kenya. It's a good experience, I'm telling you.
Especially if you look rich,
and especially if you open your mouth to speak. The Black American accent.
You're gonna be giving a lot of tips for a lot of people because of how good they'll massage your ego. Make you feel.
But people like Kenyans love foreigners, you know what I'm saying? And especially if you're a foreigner from America, so Black American accent here, when people hear you
they
speak, notice the accent and they know you're a foreigner. They actually instantaneously they love you,
Even
Jamaicans, they do love that. So you'll be getting a lot of attention, especially after they hear you speak, and especially because Black Americans do know how to dress well,
Right.
So if you get a lot of attention in stores, don't take it in a negative way. Just know that they want to help
it means something different.
Right. So guys, let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section, and we can also talk about the second lawyer. What did you think, Maureen? The second speaker who happened to be a lawyer.
It was so sad, especially in this day and age, for you to have to laugh about a joke that diminishes you, but have no choice in reacting differently. Because I also do love that he understood, since he didn't come from that region, but his client was the one who was coming from that region. If he had retaliated, what it would have meant for his client. It is sad, but I really do love the fact that he decided to acknowledge that for his client,
Right, like he decided to be the bigger man, and just the way they were laughing at him, like anyway, there are people who were just born without morals, and that speaks loudly.
Without morals, and they have tiny brains,
right? And that speaks loudly about the judge who walked him in, rather than him who chose to act differently,
right? And also, the lady who was asked why they allow themselves to be colonized in their own land, which is in America. And she gave several examples of how Africa is still colonized, and the same reason they're colonized in America is the same reason Africa is still colonized. Congo is still being taken advantage of. I feel like I really did understand what she said, and she 100% made herself clear, and that should not even be explained any further because she did a good job in giving that comparison,
Right. The lady who was at the South African who was at the airport, I feel like for the most part, a lot of Africans are profiled everywhere. And does it make it right? No, of course it doesn't. In that case, I don't even think you can say there's a certain way you need to behave in order to stop that. Just your skin already makes you a target,
Right. And right now, I do believe that, especially with Africa and these cases of profiling South Africa and all that, it has to start from the government. That change has to start from the highest position so that it can trickle down. Black South Africans are treated like that in their own country because the government has allowed it to be so.
Lord. And you
because
see,
you know, if the government press people, the different people, not the Black South Africans, those other people into their lane, there is no way they'll deviate from it, but they deviate from it because they're being treated as special human beings.
And you know, the funny thing is that that experience is not uniquely to Africans alone, because that lady was South African. We saw a guy who worked in New York, Black American, and he was talking about the same experience, only that he went in a different place, you know.
City in America or
exactly,
state.
yet the experience is exactly the same. Their white counterparts were being let in without even checking. You literally can
and
let
themselves,
allow.
they're being treated like they're drug lords smuggling
criminals.
Whites,
you know.
no.
So I'm like, how is it that the people down in Mexico didn't use gringos? Because gringos are being given a lot of slack, you know.
Stop it.
I'm just saying, man, because if you realize the system is just too lenient on white people.
Okay, personally, when you say, you know, drugs and the white powder, the first place that comes to mind is Mexico and Colombia.
How is it that people like, what are they called? This El Chapo. This famous drug lord,
Pablito.
Why didn't Pablito take a line of gringo to help him do his job? You know, because gringos are just
profile because of El Pablo,
right? Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section, and as we normally say,
but no, you know, also it doesn't mean that white people don't smuggle. They do smuggle, but what helps them is that they have the right color of skin, so they don't get checked as often as they are a percentage higher likely to get away with smuggling than black people who are smuggling.
Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. Also, consider subscribing if it's your first time here, and we'll catch you on our next episode. Thank you so much for always tuning in, right?
Right.